Oh, can't see.
Of course you can't see. You're blind.
Are you sure?
Fairly.
My name is Weiss Cutler. This is my train wreck. I was the director, writer of Sidequest. Sidequest is a full-length, live-action RPG spoof encompassing mostly story bits from Final Fantasy IV about Gale Winthrop.
Gale is a 15, 16-year-old boy.
Oh, Gale, here. You get to drive this morning.
Duncan! He's only 14!
Introduced is Dreamer, Gale's childhood friend. Alright, watch this. She gets blowed up and transported to Summon World.
Sindri, the Summoner Village.
Playing off that idea in Final Fantasy IV of the summoning world is saying, well, what if we green screen her in?
Look, your friend. She's alive, Gale.
Can you hear me? Gale? How's Hudward?
I sold him at a shop to upgrade my weapon.
You went shopping without me?
So she's communicating to Gale through her pendant, which was the key to the Summoner Village that she grew up in, but she didn't remember because there was a tragic accident.
Come on, Gale, I get to see what your old man does all day.
Gale Winthrop's father runs EnviroK, which is a environmental protection agency. This one company has an incredible amount of responsibility that's unchecked responsibility.
Are you willing to confront your father?
I have no father.
All these bad things are happening to the land, and they're blaming the company and blaming Gale's father.
Born and raised in the Brennan Temple. That is until Winthrop tore it apart, piece by piece.
Being kind of rebellious against his father, goes off into the world. He ends up being trained and going back to face his father to right all these atrocities, but it doesn't end up being his father's fault.
Setting up him as this bad guy for a while, only to be revealed that it was one of his goons that had betrayed him and would stab him in the back later on.
It ends up being his father's lackey, Vintage.
Here comes Mr. Vintage now, sir.
Vintage was the second-hand man to Darren's father, who ran EconoK or EnviroSafe or whatever we decided we weren't going to get sued over.
EnviroK, which used to be EnviroSafe, but that's a real company. Oops.
I thought the concept of an evil villain that was basically a musical snob, the very DIY sort of character, I thought that was pretty cool.
He's the villain who ends up killing Duncan, Gale's father, and taking over EnviroK and making it a combination of Shinra and Kefka's Tower. Finally, Gale and Dreamer had picked up at the beginning a skull, which presents itself as a mix between Skelly from Chrono Cross and Murray from Monkey Island. Just this talking skull that was like, if you help me find my body, I'll give you some gold, just as like a side quest. Titular. So they regretfully bring it along. It ends up being the one manipulating Vintage the whole time, and manipulating everybody. So once they gather all the parts, it ends up being this big, huge stop-motion monster.
I liked the story. I especially liked the introductions of each of the characters as they came into the story, how it was totally like a game of Dungeons and Dragons.